Harshila and welcome back to my channel. Now you guys know how much I love traveling, be it in the outskirts of Maharashtra or even Mumbai. Like I love traveling and exploring new places, and every time I'm out and exploring I do manage to get good clicks if I say so myself. And in this video I'm just going to be sharing with you guys all of my tips and tricks and how to get that really cool Instagram picture, especially when you are traveling, because we all know that when we are traveling or even exploring, like we are not looking our best, we are not probably wearing the nicest clothes, but you know the view is so beautiful and you really want to document it, but you're like, oh, but I'm not looking my best. But don't worry, I think I've got you covered, and all these tips and tricks will really help you guys. Most of them are you know, something that all of us can do. Now let me just tell you that post-production or edit really matters, but again I've never really photoshopped anything. Whatever it is, it's very natural. So yeah, and again, editing is something very subjective. What may be aesthetically pleasing for me may not be, you know, good enough for you. So it's very subjective, and I think for edit, a lot of you guys tell me that I should sit down and make a video about how to edit pictures. But again, I think, you know, every picture is edited differently. Like every single picture, like the highlights are different, the shadow is different. So there aren't like a certain specific steps that I do for my pictures to look a certain way. Every picture is edited differently if you look at my feed. But anyway, that's for a different video altogether, but I still wanted to put it in here because I know a lot of you guys want me to do that. So yeah, now for today's video I'm going to be sharing my go-to travel poses and how I get that aesthetically pleasing picture for my Instagram. So if that's something that interests you, then please keep on watching. The number one tip that I have for you guys is to look away. This is literally my go-to pose. I do this almost all the time whenever I'm traveling. This works really well, especially when you're road tripping and you know, when you're trekking or exploring, because you know you can be sweaty and you may not be looking your best, but you still want that picture. So what you can do is just stand and look away. You just have to look away from the camera and look at the scenery, look what's around, and just ask someone to click a picture. This works really well. Sometimes I also like to sit down because you know, I find my head to be blocking the view. It's really good to sort of show your audience what is around you. So this has to be my number one pose and go-to pose. This is what I do. Also, a little tip here that you can follow is to keep the subject very minimal and probably in the 1/3 of the picture, so it looks really good. Now if you don't know what that is, you can Google it, so you'll get a better idea, but that also works really well. And yeah. So next up we have the twirl, or just adding a lot of movement, man. Like movement can take your picture from 0 to 100. What I usually like to do is just twirl around. I do this almost all the freaking time. I especially like to do this pose on an empty ground, or you know, when you're road tripping, especially in the outskirts of Mumbai, you'll see this McDonald's and uske baaju mein there's like a white space. I really like to do this there, and you know, agar golden hour raha to pictures turn out so beautifully. So what you have to do is just twirl around. Again, you need a lot of patience for this one, and this can be a little tricky in the sense like you don't know what to expect because you're just twirling around and it's totally on the camera person. But you can ask that person to take the picture in the burst mode. I'm sure you'll at least find one picture, one good looking picture, and I really like that vibe. That is something that I do all the time. And also something that I like to do is just walk away from the frame. Again, like the movement that I'm talking about, sure you'll find at least one good picture. So yeah, can be a little tricky, but again something that is very easy. You don't really have to look a certain way, you don't really have to do your hair, your makeup. You can just be yourself and still get that click. Next up we have the props. Now try and have hats, kimono, sunglasses always on hand. You can also have like a little bag or something like that, so that you can pose with it, because we find ourselves a lot of times that we don't know what to do with our hands. We are just awkwardly standing there. So for those moments, I think you know, if you just keep your hand on the hat, or you're just walking, you're just playing with your kimono, or you can also hold your sunglasses, I think that adds a lot to the picture. I really like to do the sunglass thing. If I don't know what to do with my hand, I'll just hold the sunglass and you know, sort of pose. So again, that's something that you know, just adds a lot to the picture. So always try and have these props. You can also have those Instax mini, you can hold that and probably smile and then, you know, click that picture. So something like that, something that you can easily reach out to, and probably it will make for a really good prop as well. Now, side glances. Now this again, for this you may want to look good, but again you don't really have to. I love seeing someone's face in the picture, but I think side profile does it too. Like if you are not really confident in like looking at the camera directly, just look away, but kind of show your side profile. It helps your eye follow along what I am looking at. At the same time, it's extremely flattering for Instagram pictures, so definitely try this one out. Now this next one is extremely easy if you look at it, but I think it can be a little tricky. That is because it's the minimal frame. Something that I really like to do is just stand in the frame. Whenever I'm living in a really good property and I want my audience to see what it looks like, I'll just go and stand in the frame, or I'll just walk around and ask someone to take the frame. Sometimes it can be a little tilted if your photographer or the camera person is not well versed, but what you can do is probably straighten it in VSU. I really like that app, so you can straighten the picture and you'll see how much of a difference it makes. So that also really matters. So all you have to do is try keeping yourself or the subject extremely minimal. Again, for this pose as well, you don't really have to wear a lot of makeup, or you don't really have to wear the nicest clothes, but still try wearing something contrasting. I have made a video about you know, what to wear or what to carry, so try and have pieces that are contrasting so that colors will pop out. But yeah, that is it for that pose. Next up we have the rooftops. Now again, whenever I'm traveling, what I really like to do is go to some really high building, or just somewhere from where I can see the city. Really nice way of surveying the city, at the same time getting that perfect Instagram picture. What I also like to do is go there during the night time. Since we are talking about pictures that are supposed to be taken on the phone, let's not go there. Not everyone's camera is really good in the low light situation, so let's not get there. But yeah, even in daytime, I think the view would just look as good. Suppose if I have my camera on hand, I would make sure that I take a picture, because I really like that city light bokeh and just yellow lights in the background. They look amazing, and I think they add a little bit more to the picture. So yeah, that is another tip that I have for you guys, is to go to a rooftop and then click a picture, so that you can show your audience the city and what's the vibe like. So yeah, also a few other really easy poses that I quickly want to throw in is that suppose you are living in this beautiful property or wherever, is that just look outside the window and probably you know, hold a cup of tea, or just hold a cup, even if it's empty, it's okay, and just pose and like sort of like look outside. I think that also looks really nice, but try to take the frame as straight as possible if you're trying to take it like a minimal frame. And another thing that I really like to do, and I used to do, now I've stopped doing that, is to make most out of the white bed sheet. So try sleeping on it, or try posing very like cutesy. You can even like you know, just lie down and probably play with your hair, or just let your hair be very Tumblr-ish and very Pinteresty. So if you want, you can do that as well. So yeah, those are all the tips and tricks and all the go-to poses that I go for if I just don't know what to do. These are the poses that I would reach out to. Please let me know in the comment section below if it helped you. If it did, then you know the drill. Like, share, comment, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also let me know any more Instagram related videos that you would want me to film. I have a lot of ideas already, but I don't know, the execution is just taking too much time. But yeah, probably you'll see a lot more content you know, around photography and just poses and all that. So yeah, be on a lookout for that as well. Also press that bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a video. And that being said, I will definitely see you next time. Bye.